On May 16, 2006, Rey Rivera, a 32-year-old aspiring filmmaker and writer, received a phone call that would change his life forever. He rushed out of his Baltimore home, never to return. 8 days later, his body was discovered in a rarely accessed part of the Belvedere Hotel, lying beneath a hole in the roof. What happened to Rey Rivera? Was it suicide? An accident? Or something far more sinister? Rey Rivera was living a life many would envy. He had a loving wife, Allison, a wide circle of friends, and a promising career. Born in Madrid, Spain, Rey moved to the United States at a young age and grew up in a tight-knit family. He was a former water polo player, an athlete who kept himself in peak physical condition. After graduating from Loyola Marymount University with a degree in English, Rey pursued his passion for filmmaking, hoping to make a name for himself in Hollywood. Rey and Allison married in 2001 after a whirlwind romance. They shared a deep connection, rooted in love, respect, and shared dreams. In 2004, they relocated from Los Angeles to Baltimore, Maryland, after Rey accepted a job offer from his close friend, Porter Stansberry. Porter, who had known Rey since childhood, had established a successful financial publishing firm, Stansberry & Associates. Rey was excited about the new opportunity, but he continued to work on his screenplays and other creative projects in his spare time. On May 16, 2006, Allison was away on a business trip. Rey was at home, seemingly relaxed, when he received a phone call from Stansberry & Associates. The call was traced back to the company, but the identity of the caller remains unknown due to the company's switchboard system. This mysterious call prompted Rey to leave the house in a hurry. He left behind an untouched dinner, his car keys, and his flip-flops. Security cameras captured Rey's car speeding out of his neighborhood. But after that, he vanished without a trace. 8 days after Rey's disappearance, a foul odor led maintenance workers at the Belvedere Hotel to a gruesome discovery. In a rarely accessed conference room in the hotel's annex, Rey's body was found decomposing under a hole in the roof. The annex was an old, unused part of the building, filled with debris and construction materials. The area was difficult to access, raising questions about how Rey ended up there. The scene was baffling. Rey's body was found in a state of advanced decomposition, making it difficult for the medical examiner to determine the exact time of death. His injuries were severe, including multiple fractures consistent with a fall from a great height. However, there were no signs of struggle, and the condition of his clothing and belongings, his glasses and cell phone were found intact near the body, further deepened the mystery. Investigators initially theorized that Rey had jumped or fallen from the roof, but this hypothesis raised more questions than answers. How did Rey, who had never been to the Belvedere Hotel before, end up on the roof? Why was there no significant damage to the items he had on him? And how could he have made it to the roof without being noticed in such a busy hotel? One of the most perplexing aspects of Rey Rivera's death is the physical impossibility of how he ended up in the room where his body was found. The Belvedere Hotel, where Rey's body was discovered, is designed with two distinct roof lines. There's the main roof at the top, and then there's a lower roof in an alcove located in the center of the building. This lower roof is where the hole was found, through which Rey supposedly fell. Initially, investigators believed that Rey took his own life by jumping from the upper roof, crashing through the lower roof, and ultimately landing in the conference room below. However, when experts began examining the scene more closely, it became clear that this theory didn't add up mathematically. Rey would have fallen about 177 feet, which would have taken approximately 3 seconds. But here's where the theory starts to unravel. When Rey impacted the lower roof, he was approximately 43 feet away from the building's outer walls. For him to have landed that far from the building, Rey would have needed to launch himself off the roof at a speed of about 10 miles per hour. The upper roof, however, only offered a span of just over 15 feet, nowhere near enough space to reach that kind of speed. To make matters even more baffling, Rey wasn't wearing running shoes. He was wearing flip-flops. The idea that he could have made such a leap without the proper footwear is hard to believe. Even a professional athlete would struggle to make such a jump under these conditions, and Rey was neither a runner nor dressed for such a feat. It's physically improbable, if not impossible, for someone to make that jump under those circumstances. The distance, the speed required, and the fact that he was wearing flip-flops all make this scenario highly unlikely. This leads to another troubling question. If Rey didn't jump from the roof, then how did he end up crashing through the lower roof? One theory suggests that Rey might have been inside the building and jumped out of a window from an upper floor. This could have given him more room to build up speed before making the jump. But there's a problem with this theory as well. The upper floors of the Belvedere had been converted into condominiums, all of which were locked. There were no reports of broken windows, or any of them being left open at the time of Rey's death. This means that even if Rey had tried to jump from an upper window, the logistics of accessing such a window undetected remain unexplained. The more investigators looked at the scene, the more they realized that there was no logical way for Rey to have made that jump. This brings us to the autopsy report, which only deepened the mystery. Rey's autopsy report only added to the confusion. While the medical examiner concluded that Rey's injuries were consistent with a fall from a great height, the manner of death was left undetermined. This ambiguous ruling left the case wide open to speculation and fueled various theories about what really happened. Some experts have suggested that the nature of Rey's injuries, particularly the skull fractures, could indicate blunt force trauma inflicted before the fall. This possibility raises the question, was Rey pushed or thrown from the roof after being assaulted? Additionally, the exact time of death remains unknown. Perhaps the most perplexing piece of evidence in this case is a cryptic note found taped behind Rey's computer at home. The note was filled with seemingly random phrases, references to movies, and mentions of famous figures and secret societies. It was printed in tiny font on a single sheet of paper, folded neatly, and hidden from view. Among the references were movies like The Matrix and Eyes Wide Shut, both known for their themes of alternate realities and secret societies. Rey also mentioned the Freemasons multiple times, specifically referring to the 33rd degree, which is often associated with conspiracy theories about elite groups. The note listed names of people who had received a Brotherhood pin, possibly referring to individuals Rey believed were part of a secretive organization. The note also included a strange phrase, brothers and sisters. Right now, around the world, volcanoes are erupting. What an awesome sight. This cryptic statement has puzzled investigators and armchair detectives alike, leading to endless speculation about its meaning. One of the most controversial aspects of this case is the connection to Porter Stansberry and his company, Stansberry & Associates. Rey had moved to Baltimore to work for Porter, a childhood friend who had become a successful financial publisher. However, Stansberry & Associates was not without controversy. In 2003, Stansberry & Associates was fined $5 million by the SEC for fraudulent investment advice, particularly regarding a prediction about a Russian company's stock. Rey's involvement with the company during this tumultuous time raises questions about whether he had access to sensitive information that could have put him in danger. Porter Stansberry's role in the investigation has been a point of contention. He offered a $1,000 reward for information leading to Rey's discovery, but he later refused to speak to the police without a lawyer and prevented investigators from interviewing his employees without company legal representation. This unusual behavior has fueled speculation that Stansberry & Associates may have something to hide. As with many mysterious deaths, the theories about what happened to Rey Rivera are numerous and varied. From suicide to foul play, the possibilities seem endless. But each theory comes with its own set of challenges and unanswered questions. One theory is that Rey may have been pushed or thrown from the roof after being attacked, possibly as a result of something he knew or had uncovered. The involvement of Stansberry & Associates in potentially fraudulent activities raises the possibility that Rey stumbled upon sensitive information that made him a target. However, this theory struggles to explain why his body was found in such an obscure location and why there was little evidence of a struggle. Another theory is that Rey's death was the result of a tragic accident. Some have speculated that he might have been investigating something on the roof, perhaps related to his interest in conspiracy theories or even an idea for a film, and accidentally fallen through the roof. However, the fact that he ended up in a rarely accessed part of the building and the intact condition of his personal items casts doubt on this scenario. A third theory is that Rey may have taken his own life, driven by stress, anxiety, or paranoia. The cryptic note found behind his computer could suggest a troubled mind, and some who knew Rey mentioned that he had been acting strangely in the days leading up to his disappearance. Yet, those closest to Rey, including his wife Allison, strongly dispute this theory, pointing out that Rey had no history of mental illness and was looking forward to future plans, including starting a family. Finally, there are more outlandish theories involving secret societies, government conspiracies, and even the possibility that Rey was targeted by a shadowy group. These theories often reference the cryptic note found in his home, which included mentions of the Freemasons and other secretive organizations. While these ideas are intriguing, They lack concrete evidence and often rely on speculation and circumstantial connections. The internet has been rife with speculation, with armchair detectives and conspiracy theorists alike delving into every detail of Rey's life and death. The ambiguity of the case has made it a magnet for those who seek hidden meanings and secret connections. But in the absence of clear evidence, the truth remains elusive. In the years since Rey Rivera's death, his case has remained unsolved, leaving his family and friends with more questions than answers. Alison Rivera has become the voice of the search for truth, tirelessly advocating for a renewed investigation and refusing to accept the official ruling of undetermined. Rey Rivera's death is a tragic reminder of the questions that may never be answered. As long as the truth remains hidden, the mystery of the Belvedere Hotel continues to haunt those left behind. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe for more tales of the unexplained and the macabre. And remember, sometimes the most terrifying stories are the ones that are true. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.